Unleashing your authentic self, the power of alignment. Welcome to the BlackCEO Podcast, where we dive deep into the minds of extraordinary individuals who are reshaping our world. Today, I have the incredible privilege of sharing insights from my recent interview with Paula Gallon, a true visionary in the realm of personal development and self-actualization. Paula Gallon isn't just another self-help guru. She's a force of nature, a beacon of authenticity in a world often shrouded in pretense. Her work has touched countless lives, sparking a revolution of self-discovery that's rippling across the globe. From Fortune 500 CEOs to struggling artists, Paula has guided individuals from all walks of life towards a profound truth. The key to unlocking our full potential lies in aligning with our authentic selves. Now, I know what you're thinking: authenticity, alignment. Isn't that just another buzzword bingo? Trust me, I had the same skepticism when I first encountered Paula's work. But let me tell you, what she shared with me during our interview was anything but fluff. It was raw, it was real, and it has the power to fundamentally change the way we approach our lives and our goals. So buckle up, folks. We're about to embark on a journey of self-discovery that might just turn your world upside down in the best possible way. Let's start with a question that seems simple on the surface, but can be surprisingly difficult to answer. Who are you really? Not the version of you that shows up at work, or the one your parents always hoped you be, or the carefully curated image you present on social media. Who are you at your core? Now, if you're struggling to answer this question, you're not alone. I mean, in fact, Paula argues that this disconnect, this misalignment between who we truly are and how we're living our lives is at the root of so much of our dissatisfaction, stress, and unfulfilled potential. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's all well and good, but I've got bills to pay. I can't just quit my job and go find myself in Bali. And you're absolutely right. This isn't about making rash decisions or throwing caution to the wind. It's about something much more subtle and much more powerful. It's about gradually, intentionally aligning your actions, your choices, and your goals with your true self. So, how do we do that? Well, Paula shared three key strategies that I want to explore with you today. And let me tell you, these aren't your run of the mill self help tips, these are game changers. The first strategy is what Paula calls the mirror exercise. Now, before you roll your eyes and imagine yourself standing in front of a mirror reciting affirmations, let me assure you, this is something entirely different. This mirror is metaphorical. It's about taking a hard, honest look at your life as it is right now. Paula suggests starting by asking yourself some tough questions. Are you genuinely happy in your current job? Do your relationships fulfill you or drain you? Are you pursuing goals because they truly matter to you or because you think they're what you're supposed to want? Now, here's the kicker, and this is where Paula's approach differs from a lot of self help advice out there. She doesn't want you to judge your answers. This isn't about beating yourself up for choices you've made or paths you've taken. It's simply about acknowledging where you are right now with complete honesty and without judgment. I have to tell you, when I first tried this exercise, it was uncomfortable, really uncomfortable. I realized that there were aspects of my life that I had been ignoring or making excuses for simply because I didn't want to face the truth. But here's the thing: that discomfort, it's the first step towards change. It's like when you go to the doctor and they poke and prod at you. It might not feel great in the moment, but it's necessary for diagnosis and healing. Let me share a story with you that Paula told me during our interview. It's about a client of hers. Let's call him John. John was a high powered executive making six figures, living in a beautiful house, driving a fancy car. On paper, he had it all. But when John did the mirror exercise, he realized something profound. He was deeply, profoundly unhappy. His job, while prestigious and well paying, left him feeling empty. His relationships were superficial, based more on his status than on genuine connection. And the goals he was pursuing? They were goals that his parents, his peers, society had set for him, not goals that truly resonated with his authentic self. This realization was painful for John. It shook him to his core. But it was also the beginning of a transformative journey. Because once John acknowledged the truth of his situation, he could start taking steps to change it. And that's the power of the mirror exercise. It's not about judgment or self flagellation, it's about clarity. It's about shining a light on the areas of our lives that we've been avoiding or ignoring. Because only when we see clearly where we are can we start to chart a course to where we want to be. Now, I want to pause here for a moment. and acknowledge something important. This process of self-reflection can be challenging, even scary. We live in a world that often encourages us to keep pushing forward, to ignore our doubts and discomforts. Taking the time to really look at ourselves and our lives can feel counterintuitive, even selfish. But here's what Paula wants you to understand: this isn't selfish. In fact, it's one of the most generous things you can do for yourself and for the world. Because when you're living out of alignment with your true self, you're not bringing your full potential to the table. You're holding back, you're compromising, you're dimming your light. Imagine a world where everyone was living in alignment with their authentic selves. Imagine the creativity, the innovation, the compassion that would be unleashed. That's the world Paula is working towards, one person at a time. So if you're feeling a bit uncomfortable right now, if you're squirming in your seat a little good, that discomfort is the beginning of growth. Lean into it, embrace it. Because on the other side of that discomfort is a life of authenticity and fulfillment that you might not even be able to imagine right now. All right, let's move on to the second strategy Paula shared: value mapping. This is about identifying your core values, not the values you think you should have, but the ones that truly resonate with you at a gut level. Paula suggests making a list of values, things like creativity, security, adventure, family, achievement, and then narrowing it down to your top 5. But here's the crucial part. For each value, you need to define what it looks like in action. If you value creativity, what does that mean for your daily life? Is it about making art or finding innovative solutions at work or expressing yourself through fashion? Once you have this map of your core values and what they look like in practice, you have a powerful tool for decision making. Whenever you're faced with a choice, whether it's a job offer, a potential relationship, or even just how to spend your weekend, you can refer back to this map. Does this choice align with your core values? Will it allow you to express those values in your life? I have to say, this exercise was a game changer for me. I realized that while I had always claimed to value things like creativity and freedom, many of my choices were actually driven by a desire for security and approval from others. Once I became aware of this misalignment, I was able to start making different choices, choices that felt more authentic and fulfilling. Let me share another story from Paula's practice. She worked with a woman named Sarah, a talented artist who had given up her passion to pursue a stable career in finance. Sarah's value mapping exercise revealed that creativity and self-expression were among her top values, yet her daily life provided almost no outlet for these. This realization hit Sarah hard. She had been living so far out of alignment with her core values that she had almost forgotten who she truly was. But armed with this new self-knowledge, Sarah began to make changes. She didn't quit her job immediately. Remember, this isn't about rash decisions. Instead, she started small. She began setting aside time each evening for art. She joined a local artist group. She even talked to her boss about bringing more creative problem solving into her work. Over time, these small changes led to bigger ones. Sarah eventually transitioned to a role that combined her financial skills with her artistic talents. Today, she's a successful art consultant, helping other artists manage the business side of their careers. She's living in alignment with her values, and the difference in her energy, her happiness, her overall quality of life is profound. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's great for Sarah, but I can't just follow my passion. I have responsibilities, bills to pay. And you're absolutely right. This isn't about abandoning all practicality in pursuit of some idealized version of yourself. It's about finding ways to express your authentic self within the context of your real world responsibilities. Maybe you can't quit your job to become a full-time artist, but can you find ways to bring more creativity into your current role? Can you carve out time for artistic pursuits outside of work? Can you seek out projects or opportunities that align more closely with your values? The key here is that alignment isn't an all or nothing proposition. It's a spectrum. Every choice you make that brings you a little closer to your authentic self is a win. Every time you honor your true values, even in small ways, you're moving in the right direction. This brings us to Paula's third strategy, which she calls courageous authenticity. This is about having the courage to be your true self, even when it's uncomfortable or goes against societal expectations. Now, I know what you're thinking. Be yourself. That's not exactly groundbreaking advice. But hear me out, because Paula's take on this is different. She's not talking about some vague notion of being true to yourself. She's talking about specific, often difficult actions that bring you into alignment with your authentic self. For example, maybe you realize that you value creativity, but you're stuck in a job that doesn't allow for any creative expression. Courageous authenticity might mean having a conversation with your boss about taking on more creative projects. It might mean starting a side hustle that allows you to express your creativity, or it might even mean making the difficult decision to change careers entirely. Or perhaps you realize that you value deep, meaningful relationships, but you've been keeping people at arm's length out of fear of vulnerability. Courageous authenticity in this case might mean opening up to a friend about your fears and insecurities. It might mean ending surface level relationships that don't serve you. It might mean putting yourself out there and actively seeking the kind of connections you truly desire. The key here is that courageous authenticity isn't about grand sweeping gestures. It's about small, consistent actions that bring you into alignment with your true self. It's about making choices day by day and moment by moment that honor who you really are. Paula shared a powerful example of courageous authenticity from her own life. Early in her career, she was working for a large corporation, climbing the corporate ladder as she thought she was supposed to do. But deep down, she knew this path wasn't aligned with her true self. Her values of creativity, independence, and making a meaningful impact weren't being fulfilled. The courageous choice for Paula was to leave her secure, well paying job to start her own coaching practice. It was terrifying. She faced skepticism from friends and family. There were moments of doubt and financial struggle. But with each client she helped, with each person she guided toward their authentic self, Paula knew she had made the right choice. Today, Paula's impact reaches far beyond what she could have achieved in her corporate role. She's helped thousands of people align with their authentic selves, creating a ripple effect of positive change in the world. And perhaps most importantly, she's living proof of the power of courageous authenticity. Now, I want to address something important here. As we talk about alignment and authenticity, it's crucial to acknowledge that for many people, particularly those from marginalized communities, being your authentic self can come with real risks. Systemic barriers and societal prejudices can make it challenging and sometimes even dangerous to fully express who you are. Paula is deeply aware of these realities, and she emphasizes that safety should always come first. Alignment and authenticity don't mean putting yourself in harm's way. Instead, it's about finding safe spaces and supportive communities where you can be your true self and working towards creating a world where everyone can live authentically without fear. This is where the concept of strategic authenticity comes in. It's about being intentional about where, when, and how you express your authentic self. It's about finding balance between being true to yourself and navigating the realities of the world we live in. For example, maybe you can't be fully out at work due to a discriminatory environment, but you can find LGBTQ plus support groups or online communities where you can be your authentic self. Or perhaps you can't express your true political views in your conservative family, but you can volunteer for causes you believe in or engage in activism in other spaces. The key is to find ways to honor your authentic self while also acknowledging and navigating the complexities of the real world. It's not always easy, but it's a crucial part of the journey towards alignment. Now, let's talk about something that often comes up when we discuss authenticity and alignment: the fear of being selfish. Many of us have been conditioned to put others' needs before our own, to prioritize external expectations over our own desires. So when we start talking about honoring our true selves, it can feel, well, a bit selfish. But here's what Paula wants you to understand. Living in alignment with your true self isn't selfish. In fact, it's one of the most generous things you can do for yourself and for the world. Think about it this way. When you're living out of alignment, you're not bringing your full self to the table. You're holding back. You're compromising. You're dimming your light. But when you're in alignment, when you're being your authentic self, you're able to contribute in a way that only you can. You're bringing your unique gifts, perspectives, and energy to the world. Moreover, when you're living in alignment, you're modeling authenticity for others. You're creating space for those around you to be more authentic too. It's like that quote often attributed to Marianne Williamson. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. So if you're feeling guilty or selfish for focusing on your own alignment, I want you to reframe that. You're not just doing this for yourself. You're doing it for everyone whose life you touch. You're doing it for the world that needs your authentic gifts and contributions. Now, I want to circle back to something I mentioned earlier, the idea that this journey towards alignment is ongoing. It's not a destination you reach and then you're done. It's a continual process of self discovery, growth, and realignment. Paul likes to use the metaphor of tuning an instrument. You don't tune a guitar once and expect it to stay in tune forever. External factors, like changes in temperature, humidity, the passage of time, can all cause it to go out of tune. So musicians regularly check and adjust their instruments to keep them in harmony. The same is true for us. Life is constantly changing. We're growing. Our circumstances are shifting. The world around us is evolving. What felt like alignment a year ago might not feel quite right today, and that's okay. In fact, it's normal and healthy. The key is to stay aware, to regularly check in with yourself. Are you still in tune? Do you need to make some adjustments? This isn't about constantly second guessing yourself or never being satisfied. It's about staying connected to your authentic self as you grow and change. So, how do you maintain this alignment over time? Paula suggests making self reflection a regular practice. This could be through journaling, meditation, therapy, or simply setting aside time for quiet contemplation. The method doesn't matter as much as the consistency. Make it a habit to check in with yourself, to reassess your values, to examine whether your actions and choices are still in alignment with who you are and who you want to be. And here's a crucial point. Be gentle with yourself in this process. You're not going to be perfectly aligned all the time, and that's okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's awareness and gradual, consistent growth. Now, as we start to wrap up, I want to address a question that often comes up when we talk about alignment and authenticity. What if I don't know who I really am? What if I'm not sure what my authentic self looks like? This is a common concern. And it's one that Paula has encountered many times in her work. Her response, that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's an exciting starting point for exploration and discovery. You see, your authentic self isn't something you need to create or invent. It's already there within you. The process of alignment is about uncovering it, about peeling away the layers of expectations, conditioning, and false beliefs that might be obscuring it. So if you're feeling unsure about who you really are, Paula suggests approaching it with curiosity rather than pressure. Start paying attention to what lights you up, what energizes you, what feels natural and effortless. Notice also what drains you, what feels forced or uncomfortable. Try new things, explore different interests. Pay attention to how you feel in different situations and around different people. Your authentic self will reveal itself through these experiences and observations. Remember, this is a journey of discovery. It's okay not to have all the answers right away. In fact, embracing that uncertainty can be a powerful step towards authenticity in itself. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with one final thought from Paula Gallon. She often says alignment isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming more of who you already are. You see, you already have everything you need within you. Your authentic self, your true potential is all there. The journey of alignment is about clearing away the clutter, the noise, the distractions that are keeping you from fully expressing that authentic self. It's about having the courage to look in the mirror and really see yourself. It's about identifying your core values and letting them guide your choices. It's about practicing courageous authenticity, even when it's uncomfortable. And it's about continually checking in with yourself, tuning and retuning as you grow and change. This journey isn't always easy. It can be challenging, uncomfortable, even scary at times, but it's also incredibly rewarding because when you're living in alignment with your true self, you're not just going through the motions, you're fully alive, fully engaged, fully you. And here's the beautiful thing. As you step into alignment, as you become more authentically yourself, you create a ripple effect. You inspire others to do the same. You contribute to creating a world where authenticity is valued, where people feel free to be who they truly are. So I want to challenge you today. No, scratch that. I want to dare you. I dare you to take one step, however small, towards alignment with your authentic self. It might feel uncomfortable. It might go against everything you've been conditioned to believe, but I promise you it'll be worth it. Start with the mirror exercise. Take an honest, non judgmental look at your life. Where are you in alignment? Where are you out of sync? Don't try to change anything yet. Just observe. Then dive into value mapping. What are your core values? Not the values you think you should have, but the ones that truly resonate with you. How can you start incorporating them more into your daily life? And finally, practice courageous authenticity. Start small. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting when you would usually stay quiet. Maybe it's having a difficult but necessary conversation with a friend or a family member. Maybe it's pursuing a hobby or interest that you've always been curious about but never made time for. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about taking small, consistent steps towards a life that feels more authentically you. As you embark on this journey, know that you're not alone. There's a whole community of people out there, just like you, striving to live more authentic, aligned lives. Seek them out, support each other, share your stories, your struggles, your triumphs, and most importantly, be patient and kind with yourself. This journey of alignment is a lifelong process. There will be setbacks, moments of doubt, times when you feel like you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. That's all part of the process. Embrace it, learn from it, keep moving forward. Because here's the truth: the world needs you, not the version of you that you think others want to see, not the you that's constrained by fear or societal expectations. The world needs the real you in all your messy, imperfect, gloriously authentic beauty. So I leave you with this question: what would your life look like if you were living in complete alignment with your true self? How would it feel? What would you be doing differently? Take some time to really imagine it. And then ask yourself, what's one small step I can take today towards that vision? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Your journey towards alignment and authenticity starts now. Take that step. Be brave. Be you. Because when you shine your authentic light, you give others permission to do the same. And together, we can create a world where everyone feels free to be who they truly are. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of alignment and authenticity. Now go out there and show the world your true, authentic self. The world is waiting for you.